Good morning. Dr. Watson and I are out here this morning getting in an early round, and while we were walking to our next basket, I thought I would talk about the importance of taking care of your feet for disc golfers. One of the things I love most about disc golf is that there are many different kinds of terrain that you can find yourself playing in, right? For instance, today we will have some sandy areas, some nice flat grassy areas to shoot from, but we also tend to find ourselves surrounded by lots of big tree roots, uneven surfaces, rocks, things like that. And you may find yourself with some seriously uneven footing when you go to shoot some up shots. Even as you're just walking from hole to hole, there are a lot of trip hazards, things like that. One of the super cool things about feet is that the connection between your feet and your brain is that when you step on something, the muscles in your feet send a picture to your brain telling it what kind of surface you're standing on, what the ground looks like. And then your brain can then adjust all of the parts between your feet and your head, and including your head. So your knees, your ankles, your hips, your shoulders, your spine, everything can adjust to whatever you're standing on. And your brain does that like super fast, right? With every single step, with every single movement, that is what is happening. However, if the muscles in your feet are super immobile, early morning disc golf means you get to walk through lots of spider webs, right? If the muscles in your feet are super immobile, then the picture of the ground that goes to your brain is not as accurate. And so you need the muscles in your feet and those bones to be, not the bones themselves, but all of those tissues to be super malleable so that you can send an accurate picture to your brain. This is also one of the reasons I really like shoes with a good ground feel. Now, if you're used to having very rigid shoes and you try to switch to shoes with a good ground feel, you need some time to adapt. But if you take the time to adapt and you take the time to take care of the muscles in your feet, then it will affect all the different parts of your game. So it's a super easy way to work on your game like anytime. Okay? So I'm going to teach you how to do massage on your feet that will affect all the different parts of your game. Because when you're standing to do a putt, you want an accurate picture of what the ground is like so you have the most stability, right? Whether you're straddle putt or split stance putt, whatever, you want stability. Super important. Also, you may find yourself in some crazy footing positions for upshots sometimes.
You can now witness the wild animal in her natural habitat.
So you really want an accurate picture going to your brain so that you're not having to worry so much about the instability. Your body feels stable so you can concentrate on the upshot or the putt or whatever it is. So I want to teach you how to take care of your feet when you're not on the course so that when you're on the course, your game is elevated. Foot massage can be done in several different ways, but the way that I'm going to show you is with a massage ball. And I recommend a soft-ish massage ball. This one here is like a small rubber ball that is squeezable. Okay. You can find these at a toy store. They're called Pinky Balls. Or if you know me in person, you can ask for one of mine with my logo on it, and I will happily give you one. There are also balls out there. Jill Miller does a whole thing on self-massage using balls, and I highly recommend any of her information. It's very good. But she has what's called yoga tune-up balls. They're more expensive, but they are very good, and they will last a good long time. So if you want to try that out, I recommend them. They come in sets, and they come in a little pocket and a little pouch that you can also use for different types of massage. And they come in all different sizes, but I like this small size. I think it's the most versatile. And if you have a little pinky ball that you just go to the toy store and buy, then you can use that. So the first thing you're going to do is just place the ball on the floor, and you're going to start rolling the ball down the middle of your foot, just right up and down, and it's not very hard. You're not putting a ton of pressure. And if at any point during this massage, if the rest of your body is like, eek, stop, if you feel any tension or cringiness, then just back off the pressure. You don't need a ton of pressure, and more is not necessarily better. We're just finding a way to kind of move these tissues around and let the fascia get more hydrated. Okay, this is one of the ways to hydrate the fascia in your foot and also the other tissues, the muscles. Okay, and then bring the ball to your heel and just go kind of in a circle around your heel, and then put a little bit of pressure right in front of the heeliest part of your heel. And again, if anything hurts, just back off. If anything tingles, back off. There's no reason to add any more pressure. You can absolutely do this sitting down. So once you know how to do this, do it sitting at your desk or while you're stirring the pasta or, whatever. Folding clothes, rocking a baby, I don't know. Anytime that you have kind of some moments to just be sitting, this is a great way to be bringing some more awareness and a little bit of malleability to your feet. Okay, so moving that around, and then you're going to come up to the ball of your foot right up here, and we're going to go back and forth across that ball. Okay, and you're going to kind of leave your heel on the floor so that you're also working a little bit on ankle mobility, side to side. Come all the way over to that pinky toe. Give a little extra pressure in any place that feels like it needs it. If you feel like something feels a little crunchy and you want to stay in one place a little bit longer, please feel free to stay there. But again, not to the point that it's cringy. Okay? And then let's roll to the arch of your foot and let the ball be kind of where there's about 50% of the ball sticking out to the side of your foot, and your foot is turned like in the twisting ankle position. Okay, so you're kind of pressing into the arch of your foot just a little bit. And I want you to just kind of hold that for a second. And then I want you to, as if you're trying to squeeze the ball with your whole foot, pull in, squeeze, 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 and then press. And squeeze, 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 and then press. Squeeze and press. Okay, and now let's roll the ball to the outside of our foot and do kind of the same thing on that side. A little bit of the ball sticking out. Your foot is now pronated. You're pressing into it. And then you're going to squeeze. That makes my foot want to cramp a little. And then press. Squeeze. And press. Squeeze. And press. Okay, and then back up to the ball of your foot and side to side again. And then let's roll it up to our big toe. And take that big toe and let the rest of your foot kind of rest on the floor and your big toe just kind of pressing up over the ball. And you're going to get a little bit of extension into that muscle that holds your big toe up. So you're trying as much as possible to let your foot lay flat to the floor. Now, if that is not possible for you, that's fine. Just do it as if that's what you're trying to do. But if your foot wants to stay up at this point and your toe is not coming back to here, then that's fine. You don't have to come back to there. It's not a certain position we're going for. We're going for the intention of this idea. Okay? So you're letting that stretch out, that hallucis longus a little bit, and then you're going to press your big toe into the ball. And this is where your ball needs to be, one of the reasons your ball needs to be a little bit squishy, is you want it to give a little bit for these kinds of things. So you're pushing into the ball, and then you're going to release and relax and let that stretch a little bit. And you might get a little bit more stretch at this point. Okay, and then press that big toe. Press it into the ball and relax. And then press. And again, there might not be a whole lot of movement, but you are getting that intention of movement. And relax. Okay? And then let's roll it over to kind of your 3 middle toes there. And let's do the same thing. Let it stretch a little bit to begin with. And then we're going to press those toes. Now we're pressing these 3 and extending them out. And try to get them as wide as you can as you pull apart. And if you can't get your feet to go wide, try it with your hands and see if your feet will follow. Okay, and then press, reach, pull those toes into the ball. And release and stretch. Widen those toes. And press. And widen. Okay, and then let's put just a little bit of pressure onto that pinky toe. Press. And widen. And press. And widen. Press and widen. Okay, and then one more time, let's just roll up the middle of your foot. Okay, and now I'm going to have you try something. I want you to pull that foot up towards your nose and then press the other toes into the floor and bring your heel up off the floor. Okay, so you're going toes up and toes down, and then you're going to swap in the middle. Toes up and toes down, and then swap. Toes up and toes down, and then swap. Okay, do you feel a difference in your feet? And then notice that my knees are not what's bending. The motion is happening here in my hips. Okay, and that's what we're going for, is getting a little bit more motion in our hips. And you'll be amazed how much what your feet are doing affects what's going on in your hips. We'll do that again at the end and see how it feels. Okay, let's switch to the other foot. And let's roll right down the middle of the foot. Just get everything warmed up. Anything that feels good. Okay, you can go around in a circle. Any kind of stimulation to your feet, especially if you spend a lot of time in shoes, is really good for your feet, and which means it's really good for the rest of your body too, because there's a lot going on in your feet that affects the rest of your body. Okay, and then let's start with the heel, and let's go right into the heeliest part of the heel and go side to side. Now, I don't feel a whole lot in my heel, but maybe you do. You know, everybody's going to feel this differently depending on your foot experience. Okay, and then go right in front of the heel, and let's roll back and forth right there. And you can press a little deeper if you want to. Go almost into the arch, that spot right in front of the heel, but not quite to the arch. And then go side to side in there. Okay. And then let's roll up to the front of our foot, the ball of the foot, and let's go side to side. This is what feels great to me. Right in there, that feels like it's a little bit tender, but in a good way. And then back again. Okay, and then let's come up to the middle of our arch, and we're going to supinate our foot. So we're going to roll it out like you're about to roll your ankle, and then press that arch into the ball with about 50% of the ball out where you can see it and 50% under where you can't see it. And just give it a little press, and then let's squeeze towards the ball like we're trying to grip it with our whole foot. Like if our foot could bend around it, we would grab the ball. And then out nice and wide. And then grip it, grip it, grip it, grip it. And then out nice and wide. And then grip it, grip it, grip it. And wide. Okay, and let's roll it over to the other side of our foot. And pronate it, and now again, half of the ball is outside your foot, and you're going to press into the ball. Let that sit for just a second. And then we're going to grip it, grip it, grip it, grip it, and spread. My big toe does not want to spread on this side. And then grip it, grip it, grip it. And spread. Grip it. And spread. Very good. Okay, and now let's roll it up to where our big toe is on the ball and a little stretched out. Okay, nice stretch on our big toe. And then press, 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 press that big toe into the ball. And release. And press, 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 press. And release. Press, 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 press. And release. Okay, and then roll it over to where your other toes are on the ball. And press, 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 press. And release. Press, 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 press. And release. One more time. Press, 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 press. And release. And then roll it to that pinky toe. And press in with your pinky toe. And release. And press. And release. One more time. Press. And release. And then do any little extra rolling you want to do. Okay, and then let's do our midair walk. So one toe comes up towards your nose, the other toe presses into the floor, and your heel comes off. And then you're going to swap and swap and swap and swap. And how do your hips and your feet feel now? See, this is a good way to kind of let your body know that something has changed. And then it lets your brain adapt to that change. I hope you will find this useful, and I hope that you'll find a way to add this into your experience so that you can be working on your game even when you're not on the course.